Good morning. Welcome to the 2023 Annual Stockholders Meeting of Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated, formerly Allied Care Experts Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated. I would like to inform our stockholders that copies of the meeting documents, including the 2023 Definitive Information Statement, may be downloaded from our website www.apmcbacolod.com. All participants will be on mute mode to facilitate order in this meeting. Please use the chat box for queries and comments. This meeting will be recorded. We will start in 10 minutes. Good morning. I would like to inform our stockholders that copies of the 2023 Definitive Information Statement may be downloaded from our website, www.apmcbacolod.com. All participants will be on mute mode to facilitate order in this meeting. Please use the chat box for queries and comments. This meeting will be recorded. We will start in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 Annual Stockholders Meeting of Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated. May I request everyone to please rise for the invocation and to remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem.
Our mighty and loving Father in heaven, we come to you in humble worship of your sovereign power in heaven and on earth. We praise you for everything that you are to us. You are the faithful, perfect, merciful, and the gracious Father who knows our hearts. You know the desires of our hearts, that we strive to do everything according to your ways for your glory and honor. Father, as we continue the work that you have allowed APAMC Bacolod to start, we pray that with your wisdom, which is perfect, pure, and just, you lead us through our chairman, Dr. Ferginel Beron, and our president, Dr. Laila Magmanwa, and all our officers and board members to establish the work of our hands. Teach us, through the leading of the Holy Spirit, that we commit our decisions, our plans, and our thoughts to you. Sustain us as a family to continue to acknowledge that all these things that we have come from you, and all are intended to reflect your excellence, glory, and honor. We are praying for all our stockholders and the stakeholders of this company, for their continued trust in us, and for their patience in the work of APMC that is in progress. We honor you, Father, through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, because through him we have seen your majesty and your glory, and we have known and experienced how deep and great is your love for us. This we pray in Jesus' name, that your beauty may be upon us, on this masterpiece that you are sustaining us to finish. And yes, Father, establish the work of our hands in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, tegas ang sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nanagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan ang ay di maghihinig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, tuwa'y langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, stockholders and guests, may I present to you the Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated officers, board of directors from August 14, 2022 to June 11, 2023, and the founders. Chairman, Dr. Ferginel G. Beron. Vice Chairman, Dr. Bel Manuel G. Magallanes. President, Dr. Maria Laila M. Magbanwa. Executive Vice President, Dr. Danilo C. Rigozo. Corporate Secretary, Dr. Maria Ivy V. Malata. Assistant Corporate Secretary, Dr. May Claire R. Tagpi. Corporate Treasurer, Dr. Olga H. Pabicon. Assistant Corporate Treasurer, Dr. Rona T. Balinas. Members: Dr. Meride D. Lavilla, Dr. Jimmy B. Pasete, Dr. Anthony C. Gabushon, Dr. Wendell Z. Espinosa. Independent Directors: Dr. Alben Chodoro T. Abad, Dr. Jocelyn C. Encarnacion, and Dr. John Clifton U. Martin. And the founders: our Compliance Officer, Attorney Mylene B. Villanueva, Data Privacy Investor Relations Officer, Mr. Ariel S. Malata. And now, let us all welcome the Chairman of the Board of APMC Bacolod Incorporated, Dr. Ferginel G. Biron, to formally open this 2023 Annual Stockholders Meeting.
Good morning. I hereby call this meeting to order at 9:31 a.m. of June 11, 2023. We are holding this meeting today via remote communication in compliance with the regulations set by the Securities and Exchange Commission and to maximize participation among stockholders. Thank you to all those who took the time to join us in this Zoom webinar. Joining me in this meeting are the following: Dr. Bel Manuel Magallanes, our Vice Chairman; Dr. Myla Laila Magbanwa, our President; Dr. Danilo Rigozo, our Executive Vice President; Dr. Maria Ivy V. Malata, our Corporate Secretary; Dr. Olga Pabicon, our Corporate Treasurer; Dr. May Claire Tadi, our Assistant Corporate Secretary; Dr. Rona Balinas, our Assistant Corporate Treasurer; our other members of the board, our Compliance Officer and Legal Counsel, Attorney Mylene Villanueva; our Data Privacy and Investor Relations Officer, Mr. Ariel Malata; our External Auditor, Mr. Richard S. Querido, CPA, who are joining the meeting via Zoom. Madam Corporate Secretary, have the stockholders of this corporation been duly notified of this meeting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the 22nd to the 24th of May 2023, we have sent to our stockholders of record as of the 20th of May 2023 the notice of stockholders meeting, the proxy form, and the definitive information statement in three ways. First, by email to all stockholders who have provided us their email addresses. Second, by posting in our corporation's website. And third, by publication in the Daily Guardian and Manila Standard newspapers. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, our stockholders have been notified of this meeting in accordance to our bylaws and applicable rules, including our internal guidelines of their participation in this annual stockholders meeting via remote communication and voting in absentia under the extraordinary circumstances which are valid in our definitive information statement that the Securities and Exchange Commission approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Will you please tell us if we have a quorum at this meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. For the quorum present in this meeting, stockholders holding 199,332 shares, representing 94.62% of the total 210,660 total subscribed and outstanding shares. Hence, there is a quorum and this meeting may proceed. Mr. Chairman, we will reflect in the minutes of the breakdown of stockholders present in terms of their mode of attendance and the percentage of the outstanding shares that they own, as well as the number of those joining us in this Zoom meeting.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Having operated with and through the pandemic, we are now able to shift to a hybrid way of conducting our meetings in order to provide our stockholders with an opportunity to participate in this endeavor. Our Corporate Secretary, Dr. Maria Ivy Malata, will now share the rules of conduct and procedure for this meeting. Madam Secretary, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The rules of conduct and procedure for this meeting has been set forth in the definitive information statement and explanation of agenda items which form part of the notice of the annual stockholders meeting. I would just like to highlight, Mr. Chairman, the following points to our stockholders who are joining us in the Zoom meeting. First, stockholders who registered online or who notified the company via email to businessoffice@abmcbacolod.com of their intention to participate in this meeting via remote communication may ask or send their questions and comments to the same email address and in the chat box during the open forum. Second, Dr. Catherine Christie P. Bautista, the moderator of the ASM program, will read the questions and comments received before 9 o'clock in the morning and those in the chat box during the Q&A period, which will take place during the open forum under item 11 in the agenda. Management will reply to questions not taken up during the meeting by email. As indicated in the ballot for the voting of the shareholders in absentia, there are 6 resolutions proposed for adoption by the stockholders in this meeting. These proposed resolutions shall be flashed on the screen as the same is being taken up. Third, stockholders who have successfully registered to cast their votes electronically, the polls for the proposed resolutions and election of directors for 2023 in the online voting portal can still join this meeting, and the polls shall remain open from 8 o'clock of 4th of June 2023 until the adjournment of the meeting on the 11th of June 2023. And fifth, the initial votes have been tabulated after the end of the proxy validation process and the night before for the voting in absentia system. These votes are from stockholders owning 199,332 shares present in this meeting and 94.62% of the total outstanding shares of 210,660 shares. I will be referring to the results of the preliminary tabulation when I report the voting results throughout this meeting. The results of the final tabulation of votes with full details of the affirmative and negative votes and abstentions will be reflected in the minutes of this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular stockholders meeting held on 14th of August, 2022. An electronic copy of which is available on the website of the corporation. I will now request the Corporate Secretary to present the proposed resolution and the preliminary votes on the item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board and management is proposing the adoption of ASM Resolution number 2023-01, approving the minutes of the regular stockholders meeting held on the 14th of August, 2022. As stated in the notice, the minutes of the previous meeting was sent to the stockholders together with the information statement and was also published in the company's website. ASM Resolution number 2023-01 is flashed on the screen. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares or 100% voted to approve the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, ASM Resolution number 2023-01 has been approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We now proceed to the next item on the agenda.
The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the annual report, which shall consist of the chairman's message, the audiovisual presentation of the hospital construction, and the 2022 audited financial statements to be presented by the corporate treasurer.
This is a message from the APMC Bacolod Chairman of the Board.
To my fellow stockholders, a pleasant morning to all of you. 2022 brought with it a world where the effects of COVID-19 were getting under control. We were able to take advantage of these new developments in many respects, as we're able to make strong strides in the construction of our hospital. As you have seen, the situation is still far from ideal on the economic side. However, as it is mainly weighed down by the Russian-Ukraine war, our construction project being heavily reliant on importation and the inflation that is the result of this war hits us hard as it impacts the peso-dollar exchange rate and the cost of borrowing. We expect higher interest rates and a higher project cost in the next few months to come. Nonetheless, we have implemented measures to protect our investment and ensure financial viability. We were able to secure a secondary license from the Securities and Exchange Commission for our shares. This gives us more room to strategize for our future financial obligations and our capital requirements. Further, we are making preparations to secure several financial benefits under the CREATE law, such as a 6-year income tax holiday, followed by 5 years of enhanced deductions and 11 years of duty exemption on the importation of capital equipment and raw materials. These financial moves will help offset the higher project cost we could possibly be facing. We are meticulously overseeing the design and construction of our hospital and making adjustments when necessary. On this note, APMC Bacolod engaged a new professional design team in 2022 to ensure that the design of our hospital integrates functional requirements with the human needs of our end users. This way, we are assured that we do not only build an aesthetically attractive landmark that will define the Bacolod skyline, but a hospital that is designed to be cost-effective and, most importantly, sustainable. Until we finish construction and commence the commercial operations of the hospital, our activities are all cost-driven. So our focus this year is to raise funds, improve cost efficiency, and streamline processes to ensure that while we expedite our construction, we are able to effectively manage the cost. Beyond the foundations in medicine, APMC Bacolod, Inc. will make sure to safeguard the investments of its stockholders through the practice of strong financial discipline that will allow us not only to survive ongoing crisis, but flourish in it. Number 2, through best practices for marketing that will establish our brand as a top-of-mind hospital. And finally, through strategic investments in human capital to ensure best-in-class patient-doctor relationships. With this in mind, we are positioned to be responsive to the changing needs of our customers and stockholders, making sure that we listen to the communities that we seek to serve. Last year, we have become bolder in signaling the arrival of Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod in the city of Bacolod, with billboards situated in strategic locations within the city, inviting them to take part in this lofty ambition to revolutionize healthcare in the locality. This year, we will continue to focus our efforts in sharing our vision of revolutionizing healthcare in Bacolod to more Negrenses. With more or less 2 years to our target completion date, a lot more would be required from our founders and stockholders to see our project through. I look forward to the tenacity and brilliance of our directors and officers, and I am certain that we will witness the unfolding of cutting-edge health services in Bacolod City through APMC. Just 2 weeks ago, we witnessed the inauguration of APMC Iloilo, and sooner than you'll realize, we will also have the same momentous event for APMC Bacolod. On that note, I wish to thank everyone here for sharing your time to know the latest developments in our corporation. I'd like to thank the efforts of the 2022 Board of Directors. Thank you for giving us faithful, dedicated, and selfless service. I'd also like to thank the efforts of our Investor Relations Office and our Corporate Secretary for spearheading this annual stockholders meeting. and taking care of our individual stockholders. And I thank you, my fellow stockholders, for your belief in our vision. Soon, our yearning for world-class healthcare will become a thing of the past.
Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod, formerly known as Allied Care Experts Medical Center Bacolod, is a medical facility founded by a group of prominent and dependable doctors determined to lead the way in bringing a highly improved, compassionate healthcare service and solution for the nation. It is built around the passion to care for the emotional needs and physical well-being of their patient and their loved ones, committed to enhance positive patient experiences in all aspects of care. The site of APMC Bacolod is located north of Bacolod City alongside Lacson Street, adjacent to an old transport terminal, and is in close proximity to the other significant transport terminals, namely the Bacolod North Terminal, Bacolod North Bus Ceres Terminal, and Silay Terminal. APMC Bacolod is a hospital facility split into two buildings, mainly Hospital Building and Medical Arts Building. The two buildings are connected to each other by bridges. The main hospital building is a 7-story building that houses the administrative, support, and primary units and departments of the hospital, which provides essential health and non-health services to admitted patients, outpatients, and their guests. Medical Arts Building, on the other hand, is a 5-story building dedicated to providing outpatient and ancillary services. APMC Bacolod approach builds on clients' inherent aspiration by creating genuinely inspiring spaces that address emotional and spiritual needs. Ideas about uplifting the human spirit have traditionally been overshadowed by narrowly focused efforts to increase efficiencies and treat sickness. Equally important is to believe in the power of a holistic approach to create real progress. Visitors to the new APMC Bacolod are presented with a structure that responds to the cultural diversity of its community and displays and expressions appropriate for a state-of-the-art facility providing the latest in patient and family-centered care. Circulation is designed to ensure a high level of light and accentuate certain areas to the acts of a focal point, as well as color contrast and material schemes and textures encourages a sense of orientation. Borrowing from home away from home aesthetic that has served the hospitality industry well, new APMC Bacolod facilities will be reducing environmental stressors, moving away from traditional clinical designs in favor of what is more familiar to patients. The ultimate goal is to create interiors that make patients feel as comfortable, while providing an efficient care model. This effect is accomplished through the use of artwork, sophisticated color palettes, texture, noise reduction methods, and natural light. Inside a wood-paneled linear element on the ceiling echoes the wood paneling in the hospital's lobby. The choice of materials such as exposed brick on a feature wall and wooden flooring will create a simple, tranquil space, an echo of tradition and culture of the city. Aligning the vision of APMC Bacolod, this station is carefully designed with functionality that meets the needs of the user, which helps in reducing the staff's stress and fatigue, increases effectiveness in delivering care, and ultimately improve outcomes and overall healthcare quality. Using enough lighting and neutral color schemes mixed with natural material and adding a contrasting color helps create a unified ambience within the space. It is designed with functionality that meets the needs of the users, increases effectiveness in delivering care, and ultimately improve outcomes and overall healthcare quality. Using enough lighting and neutral color schemes mixed with natural materials that complement each other and adding a contrasting color helps create a unified ambience within the space. This provides different distinct areas that is appealing to the guest, a space where people can relax whether individually or in groups. An industrial loft design which utilizes rustic materials and textures that gives warmth to the space. A green wall that acts as an accent wall. All are inspired from the surrounding nature and architecture, connecting both the cafe and the outside world. This features a beautifully crafted modern interior to match the highest quality of hospital equipment installed in the room. Its amenities are comparable to luxury hotels. It also provides a spacious sitting and dining area, together with washing and preparation area to accommodate the needs of the user. A mix of neutral wood elements and light colors brightens up the space, with a cool touch of accent color that creates a relaxing environment for the patients and visitors. Using wood elements like wooden vertical slots that has different levels of pattern, breaking the repetitive design and creating geometrical accents to the wall. Clean and sleek white design of the desk with a touch of natural gray stone finish. A unified neutral tones with a pop of color, natural material and texture is applied to have a cohesive design within the floor area. A communal hub integrated to the floor, catering the staff needs. A unified neutral tones and wood elements was used, which provides a more pleasant environment for the staffs. It also helps them to relieve their stress while encourages helpful behavior for the community. The space is divided into two, which then can be opened with the use of a foldable wall acoustic partition and used as a whole, giving a flexibility of space usage. Light tones and wooden elements were used to brighten the area. The space is designed with light tones and a mix of wood elements which accents of geometric form blending with the patterned gray carpet tiles, which an added acoustic element for the space. The aesthetic of this space fully welcomes visitors with personality and style. By utilizing neutral tones, natural wood texture, green element captures the core essence of the brand. Both stylish and functional, the design enhances the space productivity, which is also visible and easily accessible for users. An office area with dedicated visitor chair to accommodate guests. A lounge area where the user can enjoy relaxation and comfort or to pleasantly socialize with guests. Inspired with nature, wood elements were used as an accent material which blends with neutral tones and green potted plants, enhancing the well-being of the user. With a world-class innovative interior design solutions dedicated to provide great emphasis of APMC Bacolod's values and aspirations to cater the medical and health needs of the people of Negros. As we claim onto this passion, we will soon be seeing the rise of the next medical hub in the heart of Sugarlandia.
To the founders and stockholders of Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated, good morning. I will be presenting to you the audited financial statements of the Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated for the year ended December 31, 2022. Mendoza, Querido & Company are the independent external auditors appointed by the stockholders to audit the financial statements of the corporation. The accompanying financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects in accordance with the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards. Let us begin the presentation with the Statement of Financial Position. The current assets for the year 2022 was 149,769,325 pesos. There is an increase of 57,220,979 pesos, or 62% from 92,548,346 pesos in 2021. The current assets include cash and cash equivalents, advances to related parties, advances to contractors, value-added tax, and prepayments. The non-current assets of the company also increased from 284,691,344 pesos in 2021 to 652,810,597 pesos in 2022. The increase in the non-current assets is due to the ongoing construction of the hospital building. For December 31, 2022, there was a 147% increase in the total liabilities from 241,860,790 in 2021. The total liabilities for 2022 amounted to 597,161,802. The corporation's equity increased from 135,378,900 pesos in December 31, 2021 to 205,463,586 pesos in December 31, 2022. The total liabilities and equity as of December 31, 2022 reconciled with the total assets of the corporation, which amounted to 802,625,388 pesos. There is a 113% increase from 377,239,690 pesos last December 31, 2021. We will now move on to the Statement of Comprehensive Income. Due to the construction of the hospital building, the only income that the corporation received was interest income from bank deposits. 104,300 pesos was the interest income for December 31, 2022, 514,903 pesos for December 31, 2021, and 2,635,791 pesos for December 31, 2022. The company incurred operational expenses mainly due to taxes and licenses, salaries and wages, government contributions, and utilities, which amounted to 32,495,898 pesos in December 31, 2022, 7,326,232 pesos in December 31, 2021, and 12,857,286 pesos in December 31, 2020. The net loss of the company for December 31, 2022 amounted to 32,391,647 pesos, 6,813,137 pesos for December 31, 2021, and 10,221,495 pesos for December 31, 2020. The loss per share was 158.57 pesos for December 31, 2022, 55.39 pesos for December 31, 2021, and 106.47 pesos for December 31, 2020. The next is the statement of changes in equity. The share capital for December 31, 2020 amounted to 96 million pesos. The company's increase of capital stock was approved last September 21, 2021 by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which showed an increase in the share capital of the company for December 31, 2021, which amounted to 161,878,533 pesos. Last March 28, 2022, the SEC approved the company's initial public offering. This resulted to an increase in the share capital, which amounted to 189,994,866 pesos as of December 31, 2022. The total outstanding shares for the year was 209,030 shares. The additional paid-in capital amounted to 74,360,000 pesos as of December 31, 2022. The company's deficit was 58,891,280 pesos for 2022, 26,499,633 pesos for 2021, and 19,686,496 pesos for 2020. The total equity was 205,463,586 pesos for 2022, 135,378,900 pesos for 2021, and 76,313,504 pesos for 2020. The last one is the statement of cash flows. The net cash used in operating activities was negative 3,549,724 for 2020, negative 12,475,215 in 2021, and it increased to negative 28,275,351 in 2022. The net cash used in investing activities amounted to negative 70,788,835 in 2020, negative 165,715,519 in 2021, and negative 310,615,596 in 2022. This is due to the increase in the construction expenses of the company in 2022. The net cash used in financing activities amounted to negative 9,124,258 in 2020, while the net cash provided by financing activities amounted to 106,851,097 in 2021. It increased to 406,522,333 in 2022 because of the company's loan from the Development Bank of the Philippines. This concludes my report for the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2022. Thank you.
May I ask the Corporate Secretary to present the proposed resolution and the preliminary voting results? Dr. Malata, you are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, management is proposing the adoption of ASM Resolution number 2023-02, noting the corporation's annual report, which consists of the chairman's message, the audio-visual presentation of the hospital construction, and approval of its audited financial statements as of the 31st of December 2022 as audited by the external auditor Mendoza, Querido and Company and presented by the corporate treasurer. ASM Resolution number 2023-02 is flashed on the screen. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares, representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares, or 100% voted to approve the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, ASM Resolution number 2023-02 has been approved.
We now proceed to the next item on the agenda.
The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the management report, which will consist of the President's report by Dr. Maria Leila M. Magbanua and the hospital construction status by our construction chairman, Dr. Jimmy V. Pasete.
To our Honorable Chairman, Congressman Ferginel G. Biron, MD, members of the Board of Directors, fellow founders and shareholders, our partners from the Development Bank of the Philippines, headed by Mr. Benjamin Castillon and Ms. Susana May Antonio Cruz, our external auditor, Mendoza Querido and Company, our compliance officer and legal counsel, Attorney Mylene Villanueva, esteemed guests, APMC staff, good morning. Welcome to the 7th Annual Stockholders Meeting of the Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated, formerly Allied Care Experts Medical Center Bacolod Incorporated. I have the privilege of presenting to you the major highlights of the past year 2022. The first 5-star hospital in Negros. This is our dream. This is our promise. It is our dream, in keeping with our vision, to build an excellent healthcare facility with global standards through holistic patient care, quality training, innovation, and research, which will serve the healthcare needs not only of the people of Negros and the neighboring provinces, but also those in the Asia-Pacific region. The name Asia Pacific Medical Center reflects the board's thrust to pursue the highest safety standards in hospital care and services, and to position the hospital as a global medical facility. Hence, Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod will take care of the health needs not only of the local but also foreign nationals. To ensure that this goal is achieved, it will seek accreditation with the Joint Commission International, or JCI, an internationally known accreditor of hospitals, whose mission is to improve the safety and quality of care in the international community. Reaching our dream is a journey involving 1,000 meetings of our hardworking and dedicated founders with our architects and engineers with a goal in mind: to build a meticulously and carefully planned, beautiful hospital. The COVID pandemic presented a challenge to the world. Our construction, specifically our timeline, was not exempted. But such adversity became an eye-opener for us to make the necessary changes on the hospital, while on the early planning board stage, to make us highly adaptable and responsive in times of pandemic, saving us significant amount of potential monetary loss. Hence, revisions were made in the hospital plans, which were previously approved in December 2018. Revisions were made particularly in the emergency room complex and laboratory in order to make the hospital pandemic ready. So there will be separate emergency room, operating rooms, and delivery rooms dedicated to infectious cases, which will be equipped with HEPA filters, negative pressure, and ventilation systems. Semi-private rooms were also converted into private rooms. On September 28, 2022, the Department of Health approved the said revisions and issued a new permit to construct. On November 20, 2022, we signed the contracts with new designers who could work in close coordination with our project management team in order to hasten the realization of the hospital project. This step, together with the easing out of restrictions due to the COVID pandemic, created a steady increase in construction accomplishment. As of May 2023, total accomplishment is at 35%. The progress of the construction will be discussed in more detail by our diligent and hardworking construction chairman, Dr. Jimmy Pasete. The company was granted the permit to sell securities through an initial public offering of 3,600 shares by the Securities and Exchange Commission on March 28, 2022. The securities are offered mainly over the counter through the company's employees as salesmen. The company also embarked on marketing strategies to reach prospective investors via multimedia. Brochures were distributed, social media were used, and 2 large billboards were built along Lacson Street. The billboards project what has become the tagline of APMC, the first 5-star green hospital in Negros. As of December 31, 2022, 503 blocks, equivalent to 5,030 shares, have been sold. On September 27, 2022, the company submitted its revised manual on corporate governance before the Commission. It substantially adopted in its manual on corporate governance all of the recommendations under SEC Memorandum Circular No. 24, Series of 2019, otherwise known as the Code of Corporate Governance for Public Companies and Registered Issuers. The company endeavors to comply with these recommendations. It is committed to a strong corporate governance with transparency and accountability as its hallmarks. To ensure that it will adhere to the highest standards of good governance, the Board of Directors appointed its compliance officer on April 5, 2022. As an initial step to comply with the adopted leading practices on good governance, the board had created board committees such as the Corporate Governance Committee, the Audit Committee, the Nominations and Election Committee, and the Remuneration and Compensation Committee. The directors have also started trainings in corporate governance provided by the SEC accredited training providers such as the Center for Global Best Practices and the Institute of Corporate Directors. Examples of such training are the Professional Directorship Program attended by the CEO and Corporate Secretary as Governance Professional attended by the Corporate Secretary. Other directors also attended various training, including the following. Management believes that the strategic location of the hospital, the facilities and the services it will provide, and the people behind the hospital are sufficient to entice medical and dental specialists and prospective investors to consider the offer. The company will greatly rely on its organic salesmen and satisfied patients to spread the word about the facilities the hospital can offer. As a vote of confidence, Colegio San Agustin Bacolod invested and entered into a memorandum of agreement with APMC Bacolod, making the latter its base hospital for the training of its qualified students in the College of Health and Allied Professions and all related courses that the college may offer in the future that may require a base hospital, including the proposed College of Medicine. The company has no revenue in the past 6 fiscal years because it is still in the construction phase. There were construction and engineering modifications done in the design plans of the building for pandemic preparedness and to provide more ideal services once it will be operational. The construction may have slowed down, but it has never totally stopped. The target completion date of the building will be in the 4th quarter of 2024, and operations will start in the 1st quarter of 2025. Last June 2022, the company was able to avail the first tranche of the loan previously obtained from the Development Bank of the Philippines, amounting to 356,640,000 pesos to help finance the construction of the hospital. On April 27, 2023, DBP President Mr. Michael O. De Jesus visited the APMC site to verify the project. APMC Bacolod has submitted an application for tax incentives with the Board of Investments by registering the construction and operation of its hospital, which is an approved project or activity under the Strategic Investment Priority Plan. the application has been approved subject to further review by the Fiscal Incentives Review Board. If approved, APMC Bacolod will be entitled to tax incentives, including but not limited to an income tax holiday, a 5% special corporate income tax, and enhanced deductions. These incentives are expected to cushion the impact of debt services of the company, as it is estimated to offset 20 to 40% of the interest expense in the first 2 years of operation, 50 to 60% on the third year, and 80 to 90% on the fourth year, thereby maximizing income and optimizing shareholder value. At this point, we will compare the results of operations and the key performance indicators, or the KPI, of the company for the years ended December 31, 2022 and December 31, 2021. The data were derived from the financial statements of APMC Bacolod, which have been audited by Mendoza, Querido and Company. In 2022, the company was not yet operational, hence no revenue was recorded. Other income during the period December 31, 2022 is lower than December 31, 2021 by 80%. General and administrative expenses during December 31, 2022 is higher than December 31, 2021 by 344%. Loss for the period ended December 31, 2022 is higher than in the same period ended December 31, 2021 by 375%. This is due to the non-operational status of the company. There is still no income to sustain the expenses. The company has a low quick asset ratio for the years 2022 and 2021, which shows that it could not pay off its short-term obligations with its most liquid assets. This is because most of its cash is allocated to the expenses of the construction. The current assets of the company are being utilized for the construction of the hospital, which results to a low current asset ratio for 2022 and for 2021. It is expected to increase as soon as the hospital starts its operations in 2025. The debt-to-equity ratio for 2022 shows that the company uses its loan to finance the pre-operating expenses more than its equity. Moreover, the company has started to sell its shares to the public in 2022. The company is positive that the next year's debt-to-equity ratio will improve because more shares will be sold during that time. Regarding the net profit margin and return on equity, the hospital is not yet operational, hence data is not yet available. Since the construction of the hospital is ongoing, the construction in progress account of the company increases as well. In addition, this is where most of the company's resources go. The ratio in 2022 conveys that the company has more assets than its debt. The company has more assets than its equity for both years due to the ongoing construction of the hospital. The company is also selling its IPO shares, which could mean an improvement for these ratios in the next financial statements. Regarding the interest rate coverage ratio, the hospital is not yet operational. Hence, data is not yet available. As part of sound, disciplined, and transparent fiscal management, to which APMC Bacolod adheres to, Mendoza, Querido and Company has been engaged as the external auditor since 2019. I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for working with us this past 4 years. As my report comes to a close, I would like to thank our dear chairman, the visionary Dr. Ferginel Biron, who has time and again, both in times of calm and adversity, has demonstrated his wisdom and support towards the building of a world-class hospital to serve the healthcare needs of the community. I also want to acknowledge our compliance officer, Attorney Mylene Villanueva, to whom we give the demanding task of ensuring that APMC Bacolod conforms to the elements of good governance such as effectiveness, transparency, and accountability, to name a few. I would also like to acknowledge the hard work of the members of the Board of Directors and the founders who are extremely supportive, hardworking, passionate, and deeply engaged. The founders, I believe, adhere to the wisdom in the Bible which says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men." I would like to thank our staff who have shown commitment, hard work, efficiency, and harmony. The office is a happy home to this family. To our partner DBP, thank you for your confidence and unwavering support for APMC Bacolod. Today marks a milestone in the journey of APMC Bacolod, since it is the first time that the founders are joined by new stockholders. Thank you, stockholders, for your trust and confidence in this project. For you and the community, with God's grace, we will endeavor to deliver what we have promised, the first 5-star green hospital in the Negros Island. To God always be the glory. Thank you.
It has been said that a story that ends well has a history behind it. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Jimmy Pasetti, your construction chairman. Today, please join me in our journey in our construction timeline and milestone. The start of our steel erection last March 2022 gives us a glimpse of how our hospital will look like. As we saw the rise of our superstructure level by level, we could now imagine the beauty and elegance of this dream hospital that we could be proud of as a Negrense. To boast the progress of our construction, we augmented our professional design consultants on the ground. With their collective effort, we soon got the approval of our pandemic readiness complex from the DOH last September 2022, making our hospital ready and prepared for any pandemic that may happen in the near future. We can say that this would be the first ever pandemic readiness hospital in our locality. To add on to the aesthetic component of our hospital, we awarded our elevators to Jardine Schindler Elevator Corporation last October 2022, comprising of 6 elevators, a service elevator, a pandemic elevator, and 4 panoramic elevators that can give us a scenic view of our atria and our garden, conceptualizing our facility as a green hospital. On the same month, we got the inclusion of our basic architecture, which was awarded to Unitan Construction Development Corporation. We got the formal signing of contract, which happened last December 2022 at Radisson Park Inn. On that day also, we included the signing of contract of our new professional design consultants. As the year 2023 began, we saw bigger challenges that was filled with a lot of expectations, hard work, dedication, and teamwork because of the many OSM and other trades that came into place. Earlier this year, the MEPS package began, wherein RevTrade Corporation started their fireproofing activities on our steel components. The fabrication and installation of our ducting system continued, and the plumbing stub-outs had been also prepared. At the same time, the basic architecture commences, with CHB installation for the wall partition from the upper ground floor up to the 7th floor. So far, we have reached the 4th floor level for the CHB installation. As the steel erection progresses phase by phase, metal decking and rebars have been placed for concrete pouring. As of now, concrete pouring had been completed up to the 7th floor of the hospital, where you could see the horizon on the west side and the scenic view of the mountain ranges on the east side. The steel erection has partially reached the roof deck and expected to complete all the levels this month of July. To improve the design and aesthetic appeal of our hospital, we will adopt the curtain walls, which are glass components to cover the external facade of our building, making it more attractive than other types of exterior walls and will give us more visibility into the building from various vantage points. The curtain walls are double glazed, which provides more natural light. It enhances the outlook of the building. It has sound insulation effect and a sunshade features, thus producing energy efficiency and can improve the comfort of the environment, thereby enhancing human health benefits. Our curtain walls can withstand a 340 kilometers per hour wind velocity, thus ensuring the safety of our hospital. With regards to our water system, we have 4 sources in line. One from the STP recovery system, second is from our Basiwa, a third from our rain harvest system, and last coming from our water drill source. The Natural Water Resources Board granted us a permit to extract a groundwater source in our area, which would expire on June 2023. We awarded the drilling works to Bacolod Pumps, an accredited vendor for the drilling works. Their activity started last March 2023 and will end up June 2023. With regards to our healthcare delivery services, the biomedical equipments, including the CT scan, the MRI, cath lab, operating theater complex, endoscopy unit, dental unit, molecular lab, and among others, will soon be in place. Definitely the best equipments we can offer to our dear patients. As of this date, we are also on the verge of finalizing our medical gases, our air conditioning units, kitchen and dietary equipments, fire pumps, generator sets, and others. There is much more that needs to be done, but with a continuous effort and commitment, and with the support of more investors who believe in us, APMC Bacolod is confident that we will be able to attain our goals sooner rather than later. With one focus, one heart, one mind, we will stand together under the banner of solidarity and make sure that our dear patients will get the best medical service and the quality of life they rightfully deserve. As of now, our project accomplishment is 35%. APMC Bacolod, moving towards its dream.
Thank you, Dr. Magbanwa and Dr. Pasete. At this point, may I ask the Corporate Secretary to present the proposed resolution and the preliminary voting results. Dr. Malata, you are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, management is proposing the adoption of ASM Resolution number 2023-03, noting the management report on the hospital construction status. ASM Resolution number 2023-03 is flashed on the screen. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares or 100% voted to approve the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, ASM Resolution number 2023-03 has been approved in the President's report and construction report as of the date of the meeting has been noted by the stockholders.
We move on to the next item in our agenda, the ratification of all the acts of the Board of Directors, corporate officers, board committees, and management. It's our last annual stockholders meeting on the 14th of August, 2022 today. Dr. Malata will explain this matter and report the partial results thereon. Dr. Malata, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board and management seek the ratification of all the acts and resolutions of the board which were adopted from the 14th of August 2022 until today. These acts were embodied in the minutes of the meeting, and they include resolutions on treasury matters related to opening of accounts and transactions with banks, appointment of signatories and amendments thereto, schedule of the annual stockholders meeting, election of officers, appointment of chairman and members of the board committees, and matters covered by non-disclosure to the Securities and Exchange Commission, and also enumerated in the information statement. The resolution and voting result are on the screen, Mr. Chairman. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares, representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares, or 100%, voted to approve the resolution. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, ASM Resolution number 2023-04 has been approved.
The next item in our agenda is the appointment of our external auditor. May I request the chairman of the Committee on Audit, Dr. Jocelyn Encarnacion, to enlighten the stockholders on this item. Dr. Encarnacion, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee had evaluated the performance last year of the corporation's auditor, which is the firm of Mendoza, Quirido and Company, and found it satisfactory. Based on the recommendations of the audit committee and the pre-approval authority granted by the directors to the committee, we endorse again the election of Mendoza, Quirido and Company as the corporation's external auditor for the present fiscal year for an audit fee of 420,000 pesos, exclusive of out-of-pocket expenses and per diems. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Encarnacion. I would like to request our corporate secretary to present the proposed resolution on this item and the partial voting results. Dr. Malata, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Management is proposing the adoption of ASM Resolution number 2023-05 for the election of the corporation's external auditor and fixing of its remuneration. The resolution is on the screen, Mr. Chairman. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares, representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares, or 100%, voted to approve the resolution. Therefore, the ASM Resolution number 2023-05 is now approved.
The next order of business is the election of the 15 directors for the ensuing year. I would like to request Dr. Alben Teodoro Abad, Chairman of the Nominations and Election Committee, to explain this item. Dr. Abad, you are recognized.
Mr. Chairman, in accordance with our bylaws, Manual on Corporate Governance and the pertinent rules and regulations of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the following stockholders were nominated to the directors for the ensuing term. Nominees for regular board of directors are the following: Dr. Brgy G. Biron, Dr. Bel Manuel G. Magallanes, Dr. Danilo C. Regozo, Dr. Maria I.B.B. Malata, Dr. Ronald E. Balinas, Dr. Maria Leila M. Magbanwa, Dr. Marie D. Vladimir, Dr. Olga H. Palicon, Dr. Gino D. Paceto, Dr. Maker R. Tadli, Dr. Anthony C. Dilucion, and Dr. Wendell C. Espinosa. Nominees for independent board of directors are the following: Dr. Alben Teodoro T. Abad, Dr. Jocelyn C. Encarnacion, and Dr. John Clifton U. Martir. The nominations Nominations and Election Committee of the Board has ascertained that the nominees, including the three nominees for directors, are qualified to serve as directors of the corporation. All nominees have given their consent to their respective nominations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abad. May I ask our corporate secretary to present to us the results of the election.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am pleased to announce the partial and official results as canvassed by our Board of Canvassers at around 7:44 p.m. of June 8, 2023. Regular Board of Directors, Dr. Ferginel G. Beron, 688,929 votes. Dr. Jimmy B. Pasete, 164,879 votes. Dr. Ronald T. Balinas, 143,305 votes. Dr. Danilo C. Rigoso, 142,823 votes. Dr. Maria Laila M. Magbanwa, 140,838 votes. Dr. Olga H. Pabicon, 139,683 votes. Dr. Meredy B. Laguna, 139,371 votes. Dr. Maria Ivy V. Malata, 139,254 votes. Dr. Bel Manuel G. Magallanes, 136,654 votes. Dr. May Claire R. Tadli, 135,808 votes. Dr. Wendell Z. Espinosa, 135,721 votes. Dr. Anthony C. Hibushon, 134,897 votes. For independent directors, Dr. Alben Teodoro Abad, 135,817 votes. Dr. John Clifton U. Martir, 134,975 votes. And Dr. Jocelyn C. Encarnacion, 134,875 votes. Given these results, I certify that each of the nominees has received enough votes for election to the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. May I ask our Corporate Secretary to present the proposed resolution and the preliminary voting results.
Mr. Chairman, management is proposing the adoption of ASM Resolution number 2023-06, approving the results of the 2023 election of the Board of Directors. The resolution is shown on the screen. Of the voting results, I am pleased to report that of the 197,600 shares, representing 93.80% of the total outstanding shares, 197,600 shares or 100% voted to approve the result of the election canvassed by the Board of Canvassers. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, ASM Resolution number 2023-06 has been approved. Congratulations to the newly elected directors of the Asia Pacific Medical Center, Bacolod, Incorporated.
Madam Corporate Secretary, are there other matters that require consideration of the stockholders?
There are none, Mr. Chairman.
We can now proceed to address questions and comments from our stockholders. May I request Dr. Catherine Christie Bautista to read the questions and comments that were sent in the email and in the Zoom chat box, together with the names of the stockholders who sent them. As mentioned by Dr. Malata, questions and emails that are not taken up shall be addressed via email.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will read the questions that we have received via email before 9:00 a.m. today, and the rest of the queries will be addressed as they were received from the offices of the Corporate Secretary and the Investor Relations. For the first question, actually this is a set of questions coming from our stockholder, Ms. Jenny Desimone. Does the hospital have enough parking spaces? Since most hospitals around the city have limited parking spaces, which make it hard for clients to park their cars. And Mr. Chairman, there's a follow-up question from Ms. Jenny. Since APMC Bacolod is marketed as a green hospital, will you be using solar panels as your source of energy? If yes, where will you acquire it from?
Thank you, Dr. Bautista, for that question sent by Ms. Jenny. First, we have provided substantial parking spaces, but we anticipate influx of vehicles beyond our reserved car spaces. Negotiation for the purchase of adjacent lot is ongoing. We hope to secure that lot and provide more parking spaces for our clients. The follow-up question is if we're going to provide solar panel, we'll consider seriously setting up or installing solar panels in the outdoor spaces of the hospital. The cheapest and quality source of solar panel is from China.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We have another question from Ms. Marianne Esmiliren. I believe part of the answer has been discussed by our Madam President earlier, but maybe we need to reiterate for our other stockholders. The question, Mr. Chairman, is what is the percentage of construction as of today? And when is the expected completion of the hospital building and the expected start of operations?
Thank you, Dr. Bautista. I think our chair of the construction committee has presented that in his report earlier. The construction is at 35% completion, and we hope to finish the entire construction by December of 2024.
Thank you. This is noted, Mr. Chairman. We also have another question from Ms. Judeline Candelario. There are two questions, sir. Will there be an eye center in the hospital? If yes, will there be an operating room inside the eye center?
Yes, there will be an eye center in the hospital replicating the eye center of APMC Iloilo. And the ophthalmology OR is located in the OR complex.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any more questions or comments from those who are attending this meeting right now? I checked the chat box and there doesn't seem to be any more questions.
Thank you, Dr. Bautista.
Questions and queries, questions not taken, we reiterate, will be addressed via email. Please visit our website at www.apmcbacolod.com and our Facebook page, Asia Pacific Medical Center Bacolod, for further updates.
If there are no more questions or matters left to be discussed in this annual stockholders meeting, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you and good day, everyone.